And a very good morning, everybody. Welcome along to the coverage of Round 8 of the Formula V Trophy Series. Should be an absolute ripper. We are here at Sebring Raceway, one of the toughest, most bumpy racetracks I think you can ever race on a former airport that has now become a very world-renowned racetrack. We are here, as I say, for round number 8. There's lots to talk about in this round. Let's start by taking a look at the championship standings. This is where we are situated at the moment. Eric Lancheres leads the championship on 217, 203 for Alexander Burgert, who's got a fair bit to fight for this week. Third position at the moment, Christopher Cassiano, who's in a very good position, and I'll tell you why a little bit later on. Christian Flagg in fourth, and Robbie Wright rounds out the top 5. We are in qualifying at the moment. Eric Lancheres once again on pole position, the 6.1k driver, proving really tough to beat. 101 a minute 24.649 for him. Christopher Cassiano moves up into second spot as we see Eric just turn his way through the right-hander. Difficult part of the track to get right. Very tricky, this layout. Sean Gabinski's in third. Then we've got Russell Daly in fourth. Christian Flagg in fifth, Robbie Wright, Scotty Brooks, David Gerard is to Pit Bits. You can catch the replays of these races from his perspective on Pit Bits on YouTube. Do go and do that. Give him some love, give him some like, whack a comment in. He races very hard. And Alexander Burgert, who is unfortunately very tired at the moment. He's just finished a 7-hour drive, believe it or not. 7 hours behind the wheel of a car, and he was unsure that his computer was going to work today, but fortunately he was able to log in and was able to get into this session, which, as you can see, championship-wise, is very, very important for him. How much seat time he's had at this track? I've done it again to you, Alex. I've done it again. It's crazy. It's crazy how often that happens with me and him. Insane. So we've only got about 12 seconds of this session left to go, so Alex is going to be starting from a long way back, one would think. So we'll see how it plays out. It's going to be an interesting little time for him. And he's decided to tap out. We are standing by, ready to go for race number 1 on the program. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. I'll bring up the chat just in case anybody has got something to say. Just so it can be seen. Sorry about the glitchy little screens. And where are we at the moment? Why is that not updated on my screen? I'm just going to reload. Runners are down at the start and getting ready for the running of this race. Yep, no, there's just a little bug in the system. We've got it going, so we are good to go. Okay, let's stand by and see how this is going to play out. It's not going to be easy. Eric's up there on pole position. We are waiting to go for the start of race number 1 on the program. The first heat. The revs start to build. We're set to go and off and racing. Oh, problems in the background. Somebody has spun around, taken somebody else out and gone rocketing to the back. I think that's Robbie Wright. Robbie Wright has collected Ken Pullen on the opening stanza of racing. Race leader goes through. Eric Lancheres, a good little fight going on behind him as they try and sort themselves out for these early podium positions. Christopher Cassiano up into second spot. Gabinski holds down third. The Flying Bumblebee makes his way around the circuit. You've got Christian Flagg moving forward. Let's have a look on this opening lap as who's going to maintain this race lead. I'll stand by and show you what happened with Robbie Wright a few moments ago. Daly's got a meatball flag, so's Ken Pullen and Robbie Wright, so all three of them were caught up in that situation. Down the back straight, this is going to be fascinating for the Formula V. Look at Cassiano go. He is right in the slipstream at the moment as they make their way down towards sunset. Can he make it count? Closes right up, looks to the inside. Not much that Eric can do about that. He's going to have to just run around the outside or tuck in. Runs a little bit wide, in fact. Tries to get a slingshot coming onto the start-finish straight to see if he can make it count. as they go rocketing down towards turn 1. Problems for Alexander. He's gone backwards at a rate of knots as well. He's back down into 9th spot. Now Eric dives down the inside. Don't think there's much that Cassiano can do about this. Certainly not the case. Through turn 1 they go. Cassiano's out wide. Kabinski looking up the inside as they come down towards the braking area and set their sights on another lap. Let's go back and take a look at what happened with Robbie Wright at the start. Oh, somebody was slow off the line and he just got completely caught out. And there's your innocent bystander. They got locked up. Weird things that racing does. Weird things. Back to the pointy end of the field. Oh, it's on in earnest too. Nothing, no love lost between these guys. Look at the battle for second spot. It's absolutely insane at the moment. Cassiano holding down that position. He's got Kabinski behind. Christian Flagg wants to go on with it. And right behind Christian Flagg, Scotty Brooks is right up at the pointy end of this race as well, which is great to see from Scott. Having a stellar run. David Gerard holds down 6. He's the next in that gaggle. Down through Sunset, they come onto the start-finish straight again, running right out to the edge of the track, using every piece of real estate they can. It looks like Robbie Wright's about to go a lap down here. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that. Hugely disappointed. David Gerard making his way down towards turn 1. He's got Alexander all over the back of him at the moment. That gaggle pushing hard in this first heat of the day. Back to the pointy end of the field, and a bit of a gap now for Christopher Cassiano. This will be vital for him. With Alexander so far back, he could elevate himself up into second position in the championship. He's always a dark campaigner, always comes out and fights very, very hard. And today, he's got plenty of work to do. There's Christian Flagg making his way around. He sits up behind at the moment as they come onto this back section. Eric Lancheres, Robbie Wright out and leading this gaggle of cars, but he is 1 lap down the 13 car. There he is. Let's look back from his advantage point. He knows that he's in trouble. He knows that he's got to hop out of the way very shortly because Cassiano is right up onto his tail. Just gets a little bit of understeer as Cassiano. Is that going to cost him? What's going to happen here? What can Eric do? Can he find a way past? We go back and we see Christian Flagg back there in 3rd spot. Now, Lancheres goes down the inside as they go towards turn 1. And Christian Flagg wants to sneak through, wants to follow him through. Only the one incident in this race so far, and that was the incident on the very first lap. Right at the very start, I should say, with Robbie Wright. I'm just adjusting something here on my screen.
Thank you, Rob.
And we should be sweet now. No further incidents. A couple of off tracks, nothing major, but Eric once again commanding, leading the way. There's Christopher Cassiano. Sits there in 2nd spot at the moment. Gets a beautiful run in the slipstream. Gets a beautiful run in the slipstream. Works his way forward. Christian Flagg's going with him, 3 wide as they come down towards Sunset. Flagg gets tagged, takes out Cassiano. Huge contact. Eric just tagged the back of him. And, oh, look at the damage to Cassiano's car. He's in a world of hurt. An absolute world of hurt. Here's Eric back there in 4th now. Now Gabinski leads the way. Scotty Brooks moves up into 2nd spot. Great go from him. Then we go back to David Gerard, who's made up a mountain of ground. David up into the top 3 under pressure from Eric Lancheres at the moment. And Alexander Burgeserd has managed to pick up a whole heap of positions here. That was absolutely insane. Eric dives down the inside of and loses it. He's gone around too. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. Let's see what happened to Alexander. dives down the inside, just gets too much ripple strip and shoves himself out into the paddock. That was Eric Lancheres he was having a look at there. And if we go back to the Cassiano incident, I'll just bring it forward a little bit. You can see Christian Flag goes to the inside and just gets tagged. Whether he moved across or not remains to be seen. We'll let the judges sort that one out, but it's on for young and old here in the heat. I cannot believe this. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, race continues on. Still plenty of minutes left to go. I'm going to try and do this and see if this will work. I'll go to rear chase and see if we can see from Christian's point of view what happened. Eric, they sort of both, I don't know. Almost a racing incident. I think they've both got a little bit to take away from that, to be fair. Eric Lancheres leads the way at the moment. Scott Brooks, outstanding performance from Scotty to find himself up there in second spot. Gabinski runs a little bit wide, takes David Gerard with him. Robbie Wright's the lap car that you can see, the green car to the right side, gets out of the way of these front-running guys, trying to maintain momentum in case everything falls apart up front. And based on what we've seen so far, there's every probability that that's going to be the case. Now, Scotty Brooks might have a chance of launching some sort of an assault here on Eric, the two Canadians, nose to tail. But I don't think there'll be any patriotism between the two. If Scott can take the win, I'm sure he'll try very, very hard. A tough campaigner. Gabinski back there in third spot. Then we go back to fourth. There's David Gerard, who's stayed out of trouble. The Pit Bits pilot on a charge at the moment. He's got Robbie Wright behind him, who's a lap down and probably won't enter this fray. Now Gabinski comes under pressure as we come down towards turn one. Down the inside goes David Gerard. Can he get the overtaking manoeuvre done? He's got his nose in front. Is he going to move forward one? Yep, not much Gabinski can do about that, unfortunately. Tries the switchback, but will that pay? Not in this particular instance. Down to the right-hander they go. David Gerard up into the podium spots at the moment. His best ever performance in the Formula V Trophy Series if they finish this way. Scott Brooks still sitting up behind our race leader, and the gap's starting to extend between a number of these cars. This is the closest battle that we've got that's on screen with you at the moment. David Gerard holding down third spot. We go back to Christian Flag, who's trying to get back onto the tail of Sean Gabinski and try and stay in this fight. He's putting in quick laps, a 1:25.2, so he was faster than Robbie Wright and Sean Gabinski and David Gerard on that previous lap, but there's still, as you can see, plenty of work for him to do. This is Gabinski all over the back of David Gerard now. Down into Sunset they go, onto the start-finish straight. Race far from over, 5 minutes left on the clock. Gabinski in the slipstream. Can he do anything about the Pit Bits pilot? Closes right up, gives him a little bit of a bump draft, so he's keen to play the game here. Very keen to play the game. Absolutely outstanding. Battle going on up in front though. Scotty Brooks having half a look. He's all over the back of Eric. He's doing an outstanding job today. GG to him. And I think by the looks of this, I thought he might have been having half a go there. They come onto the back straight. Let's see if he does anything here. Through the twisty section, Eric's just running a little bit wide, suffering a little bit of understeer through there as he tries to carry a lot of speed. Will this give Brooks the perfect opportunity to have a dive down into Sunset? He's closing up. He's in the slipstream. I think he's too far back though. And while all that was taking place, Ken Pullen had an issue as well. We'll go back and take a look at that in a moment as Gabinski closes right up behind David Gerard, who is feeling the pressure now. let's go and have a look at what happened with Pullen a few moments ago. All on his own by the looks of things. Just loops it round. Unfortunately for him, his day's going from bad to worse. That can happen too. When you get caught in a situation where you feel a bit hard done by, you can overdrive the car, and it's very easy for stuff like that to go wrong. I think the closest battle's this one, though. Gabinski and David Gerard. David Gerard now closing in on Scotty Brooks. Where's Gabinski? There he is back there in fourth spot. So this race is definitely alive. Definitely alive. With about 2 minutes left to go on the clock, still all to play. That's the scene from fourth spot. Solly Khan up into fifth. He's having a blinder as well. So while some guys have had hard luck, others have turned their hard luck into good fortune. They are Scotty Brooks, Sully Khan, Kevin Fletcher in seventh, Daly in eighth spot. Alexander makes his way back up into ninth. Now Scotty Brooks, all of a sudden looking very racy. We go on board with him. Onto the start-finish straight they come. Good little dice taking place. He's going to have a half a look to the inside. Can he make it count? They're going down side by side. And also David Gerard comes into the fight as well. It's a three-way dice down into the first turn. Eric's holding his line, gives the racing room, and he's going to maintain this race lead. 1 minute and 47 seconds left to go in the race. It's on in earnest. Robbie Wright not falling off the back of this battle, which is such a shame for him. If he didn't have those issues at the opening lap, he would have found himself in a beautiful position to fight for a victory here because he's got the pace. But unfortunately, being a lap down, there's not a great deal he can do, and loops it round. In the background, you could see just got the rear end of the car stepping all over the place. So unfortunately, he's in a very similar situation to Ken a few moments ago. Just pushing, overdriving. David Gerard under pressure. The third spot. Kabinski's got a great run on him. Down towards Sunset they come. Is it going to be Kabinski? Yeah, David's decided to back out. There's still plenty of time for him to go. Kabinski runs a little bit wide. That's going to be costly. There's Solly Khan as he tries to find his way forward. David Gerard. White flag comes out, so this is the last lap. David Gerard sits there in fourth. Eric goes defensive into turn one. Scott Brooks looks to the outside. Kabinski says, I'll slide up the inside. This may cost Scott. Yep, side by side as they go down to the right-hander. He's got the inside line. Looks at half a dive down the inside of Eric. Runs a little bit wide. That's going to give Kabinski a great launch out of this corner. But Scott does a great job to cover off that line and make sure that he can't find a way through. Onto the back straight they come. Your race leader has got a gaggle of cars right behind. Eric Lancheres, our championship leader, or our series leader, out in front at the moment. Scotty Brooks in second spot. Gabinski and David Gerard, one slipstreaming opportunity left to go. Gabinski looks to the inside of Scott Brooks as they come down towards Sunset. He's got his nose in front by the narrowest of margins. Can he hold it off as they come into the hard braking area and flip this car around through this bumpy section? He certainly does. Picks it up into second. Can Scott Brooks fight back and get him coming down the straight with the slipstream? Gerard sitting there waiting to pounce as well, but Eric Lancheres is going to come down across the line and take yet another victory in the Formula V Trophy Series. Down across the strike he comes, receives the checkered flag. Gabinski second, Brooks third, then David Gerard. Then we go back to Christian Flag in fifth spot. Behind him, Solly Khan. Outstanding performance by him. Kevin Fletcher finds himself in the top 10 as well. Russell Daly and Alexander Bugerson finds himself in ninth spot. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that result. Christopher Cassiano way back in the pack too. He'll be absolutely gutted with that result. So there you have it, the first race. And guess what? We've got the feature race coming your way in just a few moments' time. Stand by for that.
And tight, screen glow on my face, ghost lines, break lights, chasing every trace from warm-up laps to the last white flag, heartbeat louder than the waving red. This is the Formula V trophy. We ride the edge, we ride it clean. TGR Nation in my headset, one more lap to chase the dream. Formula V trophy, hold your nerve and hold the line. TGR Nation, feel it rising. Champions built to 10th at a time.
We are getting set for the running of race 2, the feature race on the program here today, and won't be long before we get this one underway. Eric Lancheres on pole, Gabinski alongside. Then we've got Brooks, Gerard, Flag, Khan, Fletcher, Daly round out the top 5 or so. Lancheres gets off the line really well. Gabinski's going with him. The slipstreaming is starting. They're weaving from side to side. A good little dice going on for third spot. Gerard has got Scott Brooks down the inside of him. Christian Flag going on with this as well. And Solly Khan gets a ripper of a start. Alexander moves his way forward. Big dive down the inside there from David Gerard. A great little move by him. I beg your pardon, Solly Khan it was. Gets around David Gerard, who's playing the smart game, playing the long game. Robbie Wright working his way forward, having a much better run in this race, but he's got a mountain of work to do to try and catch up to these front guys. The Canadian, Eric Lancheres, leads the way as they come onto the back straight. That's the view backwards from him. The Canadian in the number 5 car has got a stack of work to do to try and hold these out. You can see Alexander has fallen back to 7th spot, so he's been caught out in this and trying to work his way forward and bring himself up into the battle. That replay was from the previous race, I dare say. Lancheres down into this final turn. Slightly different here, the layout of this track for the Formula Vs. Alexander sits there in 7th spot behind David Gerard as they come around to complete lap number 1. Lancheres has got the narrowest of gaps over Gabinski, who looks to the inside. They're going to go side by side through turn 1. Scotty Brooks sitting back there in 4th spot as we go back to the pointy end of the field. Gabinski picks up the race lead. Christian Flag gets a great run too. Dives down the inside of Gabinski. Gabinski held out wide. Lancheres runs side by side with him. Brooks sits back there in 4th, biding his time. Solly Khan having an outstanding run here. Up into 5th spot as we go on board with Brooks as they come down through the S's up behind Gabinski. Almost catches him out there. Onto the back straight. He'll be in a great spot to get a massive slipstream here. Nice and clean through that section of the track. Here's Khan. There's David Gerard looking at this battle. Alex gets a run down the inside of Khan. Goes right over against the concrete wall. Up front, Christian Flag weaving from side to side, trying to hold Eric and Gabinski out. Down into the braking area of Sunset they come. David Gerard playing it smart, staying out of trouble. He's got Cassiano looking up the inside and moves forward, so he's lost a spot, but he's got a great run onto the start-finish straight. The Pit Bits pilot trying to make his way forward here. Can he do it? 2 by 2 as they come down towards turn 1. Now 3 wide. This is crazy. Into turn 1 they go. 3 by 3 almost. Have a go at this. Wow. Gabinski with the lead at the moment. No, Christian Flag fights it back. Lancheres in the middle of that sandwich as well. Scotty Brooks in 4th, tries to find a way up into 3rd spot. He's got Khan all over the back of him, who's having an outstanding round. Absolutely outstanding round by Khan. And Alexander under attack at the moment as well. He's got David Gerard all over the back of him. And now sneaking through is Russell Daly from the UK. Finds his way forward, up 1 further spot, up into 7th spot. Cassiano back there, the man who's 3rd in the championship, 8th spot. David Gerard right behind him. Still early days. 11 minutes left to go. And Cherez holds the inside line. What is Christian Flag doing? Oh, let's make it 3 wide into Sunset. Why not? Works in turn 1. Let's try it in the final turn. Khan gets a run on Brooks. Moves forward. Gabinski gets very close to the wall there. Onto the start, finish straight. They come to complete another lap. 1/3 race distance in the bank. Gabinski looks to Christian Flag. Gets up behind Lancheres. We tried it before. Let's try it again. 3 wide into turn 1 they go. Gabinski gives plenty of room. Scott Brooks is going to try and sneak through, but Gabinski's going to try and hold this tight line down into the right-hander. Scotty Brooks tries to get a run around. You're on board with Gabinski now. Sean can't find the way past. Runs a little bit wide there. That could be costly. Alexander's right behind him. One mistake and he'll make him pay for it. Sitting in 4th at the moment. The all-red car of Scott Brooks up in front. Onto the back straight they come. Still the slipstream on. Christian Flag in for the fight. 4th in the series at the moment. Now Gabinski elects to stay wide. We go on board with Scott Brooks. You can see Lancheres comes to the outside. Eric wants this race lead back. He always wants the race lead back. That's the fun of racing with him. Down the inside comes Scotty Brooks in 3rd spot. Discretion being the better part of valor there. Gets a run on Eric. He's going to run side by side. He's got his nose almost in front as they come onto the start finish straight. Great dice behind as well. Khan right in the middle of this. He's got Cassiano and Gabinski up in front. Christian Flag goes to the inside. Eric sitting in the middle of this sandwich and Scott around the outside. 3 wide again. 3 by 3 they're going to come through turn 1. This is insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, contact between Christian Flag and Eric. They've touched. Looks like Flag may have just run a little bit wide. He's clipped him and off into the boondocks goes Eric. He's been able to get back onto the track, but he's way down there in a 13th spot at the moment. That is massive for his series lead at the moment. Scotty Brooks goes through to lead his first ever TRG Nation Formula V Trophy Series in the first 2 seasons that we've had. Up comes Christian Flag behind him. He wants it back. He knows now's the time to count. Alexander making a little bit of bush bash work of the right-hander coming onto the back straight. Puts him under pressure. Cassiano's got a great run on him as they come down towards Sunset. Gives him a bump draft. Says, go on, Alexander. Get up there into the fight. I bet he's hoping he can take a few out. 3 wide. They go into the final turn. Knock up off the grass. Christian Flag relinquishes the lead back to Scotty Brooks, who's having an outstanding run. We're seeing some of what Scott is capable of doing here. Haven't seen it for the first couple of rounds. Cassiano has got just a mountain of cars alongside him. Gets a run, tries to make it 3 wide, decides no to back out. Khan says, I don't care. I'll go through. Let's go. On we go. Comes up into 2nd spot to Solly. Well done. Bravery there in turn 1. Alexander fights back to try and take 2nd there side by side. Scott Brooks and Cassiano are wheel to wheel as well. Khan now has Cassiano on his inside as they come down the right-hand section of the track to make their way onto the back straight. Oh, Cassiano gets air. Running very, very wide is Alexander. That's going to be costly. Khan's right up behind him. Christian Flag out in front. He's just out of sight of camera. You're riding on board with him in actual fact as we're watching the battle for second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Side by side and three wide behind. Of course, Scott Brooks gets a great run. Moves back to the pointy end of this battle. He's got a run on Khan as well. Alexander falling back through the pack. Cassiano all over the back of him at the moment. There's Christian Flag. He's pulled out a good gap, 1.3 seconds. Will it be enough though? Will it be enough for him to continue to not only lead this race, but take out a victory? Race continues on. Big dive there from David Gerard. Finds his way up into sixth spot. Gets around Scotty Brooks. He is in it. Having an outstanding run is David Gerard this week. Solly Khan goes through in second spot as they heads off on another lap. 1.4 seconds the gap now, Christian Flag. He's pulling away. Alexander won't like this. He won't like this at all. He knows that the man who sits fourth in the series is getting a gap. You can hear the conversations going on in the background. That is Alexander on the chat as we go on board with the Pit Bits pilot. He says he struggles with nighttime racing because it's nighttime in the UK when these races go live, but I beg to differ. He hasn't had much luck in this series so far. We know he's a very, very fast pilot of a Formula V, and he's making every post a winner at the moment. Now Khan's got a 1.5 second gap. Alexander moves back up into second spot.
You got the bad gears. You got the bad gears.
You got the bad gears, says Alexander. So he goes past Khan down into sunset. You've got a great representation of the different layout here. They're not using the GT3 circuit. Slightly less bumpy, but still bumps where it counts because this is an old airport, as I mentioned at the top of the series. An old airport. And made of concrete, and basically the tarmac parts are just taxiways. Khan holding down third. I'd love to see a great result from him. Of course, the music that you hear at the beginning of these live streams was made by that man, and we thank him very much for that. He's under pressure at the moment. He's not in a dancing mood as we speak. He's in a defensive mood because Cassiano wants past. He's keen to get past. The gap now comes down to 1.3 from Christian Flag to Alexander, who's setting his sights on a victory here. He needs it. He needs it with Eric sitting down the pecking order in 13th. He needs to make every single post a winner. Lots of chat going on. Lots of chat going on at the moment. There's Cassiano. Gets past Khan. Khan lets him go and says, go, go, go. Alexander sits back there, now closes the gap down to 1 second, so he's catching Christian Flag. These boys behind are playing the waiting game. They could launch at Alexander, but they think no. Now the gap under 1 second. Slipstream comes into play. There's Christian Flag with 3 minutes left to go in this fight. Ken Pullen trying to work his way up into 8th spot. He's got Robbie right in front of him. Just caught a glimpse of him. Now it's side by side. Oh no, Alexander defends that line, goes through in 2nd spot. Cassiano had a sneaky look to the inside, but he elected not to do it, to see if they can catch Christian Flag, who'd be going, no. Right about now he'd be crying because they are back in the fight. They are back in the fight. Christian Flag has had a couple of laps of solitude, but now he's joined by some very angry, very hard charging Formula V drivers. Solly Khan onto the back straight, gets a great run on Cassiano. What's he going to do? Is he going to dive to the inside? Cassiano moves back to the outside of the track. Khan goes to the inside. You're riding side by side down into sunset. Does he get the overtaking maneuver done? He's far enough ahead to be in front on the timing board and gets past Cassiano. Works his way back up into 3rd. He's having a blinder of a run. Great to see him at the pointy end of the field again. Gabinski in behind that battle as well. Now Alexander close enough with 2 minutes left to go in this race. Onto the start-finish straight they come. No white flag, so at least 2 more laps. Alexander runs side by side with Christian Flag. And here comes Khan. Cassiano makes it 4 wide. Give me a break, boys. Down through turn 1 they go. Precision flying almost. It's like watching the Australian roulettes put on an air display. 4 wide into turn 1. Flag maintains the race lead. Alexander up into second, Khan to third. He's got Cassiano on his outside. Cassiano hits the grass, loses a little bit of momentum there. David Gerard gets a run on him as well. Onto the back straight they come. This time Cassiano, this time Christian Flag, I should say, is going to be under enormous pressure from Alexander, who's got a little bit of a gap over Cassiano. Cassiano's got Khan behind him. Then Gabinski, then David Gerard. Just a reminder, don't forget you can catch David's point of view of these races. Check him out at Pit Bits on YouTube. Subscribe, like, make comments, help the bro out. He's going to the inside. He's on the attack as well. Goes down the inside, tries to work his way forward. David Gerard finds himself in third spot. Bit of a blink there from Gabinski for some reason. I haven't seen him blink throughout the 2 series we've run. White flag out. This is the final lap. No more waiting. No more delay. Christian Flag doesn't want the lead. Gives Alexander a bit of a push. 3 wide behind David Gerard, Khan. David Gerard on the outside trying to get this inside line over Gabinski as they come down towards the braking area for turn 2. He's got the line. Robbie Wright in the background gets a little bit of a push and shove, and he's off the track. Comes back on, takes out Scotty Brooks, takes out his go-karting teammate. So there'll be plenty said about that. Not much Robbie Wright could do. David Gerard sits there in 4th spot. He's got a bit of breathing space. Flag goes through into the race lead. Alexander says, you can have it. I want the slipstream. Now runs side by side as they come down the back straight. David Gerard sits there in 4th, right up behind Khan, who's under a massive amount of pressure. Then we've got Cassiano and Gabinski and Pullen up into 7th spot. Well done for him. Side by side, the final braking area. It's going to be 2 by 2. Khan versus Gerard. Gerard gets a great run, closes in behind Christian Flag, gets on the brakes. They come through the final turn. Alexander's got the inside line. Christian runs wide, tags the wall. David Gerard goes around. Here's tagged the wall and is dropping back through the field dramatically. Huge shame. Alexander's going to take the win over Christian Flag, Solly Khan, Cassiano, Ken Pullen. 5th spot for him as they all have a bit of fun after the race is over. Russell Darling in 7th spot. Scotty Brooks is going to fight back to finish in 8th. Thomas Tucker in 9th, and Robbie Wright rounds out the top 10. I tell you what, I need my throat fixed after that. Let's go back and take a look at some of the action. Here's what happened with David Gerard. Just run a little bit wide, too much understeer, tagged the wall and looped around. A disappointing end. He was doing so well. Scotty Brooks having an issue, and that's what happened. He got into the back of one of those cars, and here's how Robbie Wright saw it. Just gets a little bit of a helping hand, which unsettles the car, then tries to get around Gabinski, who had an issue, and turns straight into his mate, Scotty Brooks. Wow, what a way to finish a race. What a final lap. Wow, incredible. You can hear the chats going on.
Moved down the inside of 4 of us on the penultimate lap was awesome.
Cassiano having a laugh. 3 and 4 wide in turns 1 and turns in the final turn. How crazy is that? Hope you've enjoyed the coverage, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be doing it all again next week. Join the live stream, and would love to hear from you in the chat. Racing at its best in the Formula V series. Until next week, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.